How's it going, everybody? It's Doc Apocalypse here with Apocalypse MTG. Got another day of spoilers. I'm just gonna start out now. It's not all inclusive. I did as many as I could, but I didn't want to make the movie too long. So, uh, without any further ado, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's hop right into it. All right, so our first card is gonna be Historian's Wisdom. All right, this is a 3 CMC, 2 and a green enchantment aura. Enchant artifact or creature. When Historian Wisdom enters the battlefield, if enchanted permanent is a creature with the greatest power among creatures on the battlefield, draw a card. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it gets +2/+1. It's pretty straightforward. In green, you're oftentimes going to have the biggest creature on the battlefield. Turn 3, you could put it on a 2/2 and get to draw a card that against almost any other deck except for mono white maybe. You're already going to have the biggest card. So, and it gives it a +2/+1. That's pretty good. I mean, being able to draw a card for 3 CMC and get a +2/+1 on a creature early in the battlefield, mono green Stompy's really going to enjoy this. And for 3 CMC, it's not a huge investment, and you get to draw a card, which is really important. So, yeah. I mean, it's self-explanatory. I was going to see a ton of limited play and some standard play. Next, we've got Awakened Awareness. This is a X blue enchantment aura. Enchant artifact or creature. When Awakened Awareness enters the battlefield, put X 1/1 counters on enchanted permanent. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it has a base power and toughness of 1/1. So this is a little bit different. I'm a little confused on why this second part is there, but if you can use this in two different ways. You can use it as a X equals 0 for so basically blue to turn one of your enemy creatures into a 1/1 and then beat it down, or if they don't have enchantment removal, then they just are stuck with a 1/1 until they chump block with it and it dies. Or you can pump up a 1/1 that you already have. Since it doesn't, that last line of text is just flavor text at that point. You can pump it up with 4 mana of 1/1s, 4 counters on it. It's a cool card. It's not super broken. It's not super duddy, but I think it's really cool as a pseudo removal. I mean, it's turning their creatures into a 1/1, which is not the worst thing in the world to have. Next, we're going to go to Go Shanati of Ancient Wars. This is a 3 CMC, 2 and a red. I butchered that, I'm sorry. Legendary enchantment creature Shrine. It's got first strike. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. When you do, Go of Ancient Wars deals X damage to target player or planeswalker, where X is the number of shrines you control. I've already seen a couple of shrines so far, so Shrines deck is coming back, and it's going to come back with a vengeance. This is a pretty cool deck to be able to add into, or a pretty cool card to add into your Shrines deck if you already have one built. And I love that pay 1 and ping them for, even if it's just 1 damage. Even if this is the first Shrine you get out at 3 CMC, you can ping them for 1 on turn 4, or at any point. You just, at your end step, you got an extra mana lying around, ping them for however many shrines you got out. That's really cool. I mean, if you can't swing in because they've got a wall of creatures and they're kind of trying to pseudo pillow fort, you can just pay 1 and ping them for a couple, and that puts a clock on them that they need to answer this card in particular before they keep going. So I like it. It's fun. Let's go on to the next one. Next one is Generous Visitor. It's 1 green for whenever you cast an enchantment spell, put a 1/1 counter on target creature, and it's a 1/1. It's a really creepy looking squirrel. I wish it said creature squirrel spirit. That'd be really cool. Just to add it to a squirrel deck, it's a little bit more flavorful. But other than that, I mean, that's cool. I mean, it's gonna be an Enchantments Matter deck for 1 mana in green. It's not a mana dork, it's a 1/1 counter dork, but yeah, it looks fun to me. I mean, there's no reason you can't play this card. It's not super powerful, but it also costs almost nothing. So I mean, you draw it in the late game, you're going to be like, oh, man. But in an early game, if you get this in your opening hand, you're not going to be upset about it at all. I wouldn't be. Next one is Prodigy Prototype. This is one white and a blue artifact vehicle. Whenever one or more vehicles you control attacks, create a 1/1 colorless pilot creature token with this creature crews vehicles as though its power were 2 greater. It only costs 2 to crew. So at 3 CMC, you pop this out. You can crew it with just about anything. It's only got a crew 2 on it. And then you get, as long as it survives, you get a 1/1 colorless pilot creature that can crew it next time and create another pilot. And so on and so forth, and it grows and grows and grows. There is vehicles out there that care about how many vehicles you have. So this is great. I like it. I don't know if there's going to be a straight up vehicles deck, but I really do think that this is quite flavorful, and they've done a good job about making their different types and their kind of plans of attack to matter, in a sense that it's not just one-offs or two of things, that they've really kind of rounded these out so far. And I think this set's going to be actually playable in limited, where you're gonna have a tribe of some sort in limited. That's going to be a lot more fun than just picking out bombs and trying to make it work and just blow the opponent out with bombs. And yeah, so I like it. Let's go to the next one. Next one's going to be Circuit Mender. This is a 3 colorless artifact creature insect. When Circuit Mender enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. When Circuit Mender leaves the battlefield, draw a card, and it's a 2/3, and it's an artifact. I just love this card. Artifacts mean a lot in this, and so 3 color, any color artifact with that can attack, gains me some life, and it draws me a card when it dies is awesome, because there's cards in here that say kill your artifacts, which we will get to in a minute. So this is great. I get to gain 2 life when I put it out, and then when I kill it off to make this next card, it will give me an extra card in my hand on top of that. Next one is Sunblade Samurai. It's an 5 CMC, 4 and a white enchantment creature human samurai with vigilance and channel 2. Discards Sunblade Samurai, search your library for a basic plains card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. You gain 2 life. 2 CMC to gain 2 life and hunt down a white land. Not the worst, not the best, but it is a 4/4. So if you have the mana to play it when you get it, it's a good 4/4 Sammy with vigilance. If you get it early in the game and you don't want to get land screwed, then this is good too, because you can just channel it away for 2, get your land, get that life back, and keep on punching through and doing what you need to do to win the game. I like it a lot. It's 5 for a 4/4 is a little expensive, but the duality of this, that's almost like an MDSC, that's going to be really handy in limited and standard. And at basic, you're going to see, or at not basic, at common, you're going to see it all over in limited and whatnot. And it's going to be really inexpensive if you want to buy it in paper. So it'd be a couple of cents probably. Next, we got Guardians of Oboro. This is a 2 and a blue creature Moonfolk Samurai. It's got Defender, but modify creatures you control attack as though they don't have Defender. I haven't seen a whole lot of Defender cards, but this is really cool because this one card says that all of your defenders just need to have a 1/1 counter on them, or any other kind of modification, enchantment, something along those lines, and they can now attack as if they didn't have Defender. I like this a lot. It's 3 for a 3/4, so it's a good body to be able to block with and be able to swing in. It doesn't have reach, but beggars can't be choosers, especially for an uncommon. But it's a solid limited card, a solid like draft, just all around draft. Next, we have Peerless Samurai. 2 and a red. All right, this is a creature human samurai with Menace. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, the next spell you cast costs 1 less to cast. So this is a I love my second main phase samurai with Menace. So he can attack alone, make your next spell on your second main phase cost less. And there are so many other things out here that say if a warrior attacks alone, a samurai attacks alone, or a creature attacks alone, you get X, or it gets this, or whatever. So this is another one of those. I want to Voltron a samurai and have a bunch of samurais still around to be able to block and be able to make that Voltron get even bigger. And then when that Voltron dies, because they remove it, I just move it to the next samurai, and that samurai then attacks alone, and I just continue to pound away until I win. I love this when a creature attacks alone, because there's so many times in a game where I'm like, I can't just say swing all, because either they have too much to block with, or they have, especially if they got like a whole bunch of 1/1s, that even if I swing with my one big one, they can't kill it with all of their 1/1s, but they have so many 1/1s that I can't get through. So being able to swing and make stuff cost less to be able to remove some of that stuff or to do other things is really cool. Next card. Next one is Ryu Storm Edge, or Storm's Edge. It is a 4 CMC, 2 and a red white. It's Oboro's legendary human samurai with first strike. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, untap it. If it's the first combat phase of this turn, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. So this is really cool. You get him out, you leave him out, you protect him. He's got first strike, so you could use him to swing twice and swing alone as a 3/3. Because you have the other samurai that we just talked about out, your next spell is going to cost 1 less to cast on top of that. And bada bing, bada boom, you've got 2 combat phases now. As long as Ryu, the Storm's Edge, stays out in the battlefield. That is awesome. That is super powerful, especially for 4 CMC. I definitely see this being a standard deck. Samurais are going to be a main staple deck in standard, at least in the beginning, until people find a way to get around it and break it. But I like this card a lot. This is definitely an early build deck as soon as Kamigawa comes out on Arena. And then I might even build a paper deck depending on how well it goes. Next one is Moon Circuit Hacker. This is a 2 and a blue enchantment creature human ninja with a blue ninjutsu. Whenever Moon Circuit Hacker deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card unless Moon Circuit Hacker enters the battlefield this turn. So this is a ninjutsu it for 1 and get the 2 damage and get your free card out. Next turn, ninjutsu this out when you sing with it, because they're probably going to let it hit because they think that you have to rummage, and you ninjutsu it out to get even more damage in and not get that card draw. But then you can ninjutsu it next turn, even though they know about it. There's a chance that you might be able to ninjutsu it in and get that extra card again. So basically for 2 blue mana, you get 2 cards and at least 4 damage plus whatever you ninjutsu'd the time before. This is kind of one of those cards where you want to be bouncing it back and forth to maximize its value on card draw in blue. That's amazing. So especially as a common card, I really like this card a lot. It's not as powerful as the original ninjutsu cards, but I love it a lot, and I'm definitely going to be playing it. Next one is Tatsuki, the Living Lore. This is a green and a white legendary creature human druid. All right, you tap it and put a lore counter on each saga you control. Activate this only as a sorcery. When Tatsuki, the Living Lord, dies, choose up to 1. Return target saga or enchantment creature you control to its owner's hand. Or return target saga from your graveyard to your hand. That is awesome. So I was looking into this a little bit, and it looks like when a saga hits that 3rd step and it exiles and turns into its backside. Then the backside has to die, And when it dies, it goes into the graveyard, reverting back to its front side, obviously, so it's the side that has its mana value on it. And at that point, it's in your graveyard. Then you can return it to your hand with this second step. Or you can bounce Saga or enchantment creature you control to your hand. Being able to bounce Sagas doesn't sound that great. Enchantment creatures maybe with ETBs and stuff. The second one really is the one I'm looking for. It's when you played out a Saga and then you got wiped. You played out the Saga, it hit, it transformed. As soon as it transformed, they killed it. And you're like, oh man, that was a good one. I wanted that one out there. That's the ones that you're going to be looking for to get back in your hands. And I think that Suzuki, the Living Lore, is going to be a good one, especially at 2 CMC. She's going to play a lot, even though she's rare at a 1/3. Good little wall. I like it a lot. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Mechtitan Core. Mechtitan Core, sorry. This is a 2 CMC artifact vehicle with 5 exile Mechtitan Core and 4 other artifact creatures and or vehicles you control. Create Mechtitan, a legendary 10/10 construct artifact creature token with flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, and haste that's all colors. When that token leaves the battlefield, return all cards exiled with Mechtitan Core, except Mechtitan Core, to the battlefield tapped under the owner's control, aka your control. Yo. So not only do you get a 2/4 vehicle that's only crew 2, but for 5 CMC, you can exile Mechtitan Core and 4 other artifacts, yes, or vehicles, but that 10/10 that has flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, and haste, it's got dang near all the keywords except for Death Touch and Menace. Yeah, Death Touch and Menace is only 2 it's missing, it looks like, for main keywords at least. That is so good. As a 10/10, yo. This is definitely going to be a busted card. There is so many ways to get around it. Wow. I was thinking maybe something along the lines of Olivia's Attendance, but those make blood tokens, not artifact. I think that might be artifact tokens, but I'm not positive. Yeah, it is. It's a discard, sacrifice this artifact. So it is artifact. So you play Olivia's Attendance. You're playing this in a red deck. And if you get one shot in with her, you've got 6 artifacts to be able to cast away with Mechtitan Core. And you get them back at the end, which is cool. So you don't have to have a super hardcore dedicated artifact deck with Mechtitan Core to be able to utilize its what is in effect its main ability to turn into a 10/10 with flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, and haste. That for bam, like Olivia's Attendance is amazing. I love that card. I played it in one of my commander decks, and it absolutely stomps. Match it up with this, which Mechtitan Core is probably going to go into that deck, even though it doesn't have any synergy in the sense of it's not a vampire. It's nothing to do with vampires. This is a really good card. There's just nothing to it. So let's go to the next one. All right, so this is Atuar City Above Clouds. It's a legendary land. It taps to add a blue, so it comes in untapped as a land. Taps for blue. Or you can channel it for 3 and a blue. You discard Atuar City Above the Clouds and return target artifact, creature, enchantment, or planeswalker to its owner's hand. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each legendary creature you control. You're going to need to have 2 legendary creatures at least on the battlefield to make this at least the same cost as most bounce spells. Because that's basically what it is. It's just a bounce. Artifact, creature, enchantment, planeswalker card. However, the text seemed kind of weird. It didn't, because it says artifact, creature, enchantment, planeswalker to his hand. They went out of their way to say that. I know it's written on here because underneath it, it's in Japanese maybe or Chinese. I don't know. But I believe the reason they did that is because of things like creature lands, like Faceless Haven before it was banned, or Lair of the Hydra. Anything you can get out, you can channel this because it's a activated, or it's not a activated ability, it's from your hand. So it's basically uncounterable, and you can get rid of that Lair of Hydra once they've activated it. So let's say green player Crazy wants to swing in with a big 8/8 Lair of the Hydra. He taps all of his mana and puts it on Lair of Hydra, gets it out there, goes to swing with it, and you just return to his hand. It's a creature at that point. It's not a land. That is really good. I mean, for 4 CMC in blue, that's not a terrible thing to hold up, and you can get rid of that, make that Lair of Hydra cost so much. You can tempo it right out of the game, basically. And with things like Renin 6, we can +1 it to return up to 1 target land card from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, so you channel it for 4, you +1 your Renin 6 to return it back to your hand. Now you have a threat that they know about, so they're not, even if they play that Lair of the Hydra out, or if we get a Faceless Haven style card again, they're not going to play it again. They're not going to use it again because they know that I'm not going to dedicate all of this mana for that I know he's got an answer to, that he can just keep bringing back and keep Renin 6ing it back, and it's going to keep making that Renin 6 better until it finally ultimates. So this is really cool. I like it a lot. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. And that's it. Alrighty. So, tell me what you think of these so far. This is all 14 cards. I think my favorite out of these is the Ryu Storm Edge and the Mechtitan Core, obviously. Mechtitan Core is just so broken. But there's a lot of decent cards here, and the crazy thing is, right, as I was working on this video, I kept trying to get up, because I originally had like 6 or 7 on here, and then I'd be putting it into the computer, and I'd be getting the video ready, and then I'd refresh the page real quick where I'm getting these from, and there'd be more. And I'm like, oh crap. All right, go back through, do a little bit of research on them, put them up here, and then there'd be more. And it's like, oh man. So I finally cut it off at 14 cards for this one because I didn't want to make it too long. We're already sitting at 23 minutes. So tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I'm going to have to put out another one for day 4 because there's already more on the website. A lot more. So I hope that you guys can forgive me for not just sitting on my thumbs waiting for every single card to come out before releasing it. But tell me what you guys think. My favorite is definitely Ryu. Maybe yours is Historian's Wisdom. Maybe. I don't know. Generous Visitor's really cool looking. It's a creepy squirrel with really weird legs. It's like a peg leg squirrel with hands and a face that's like a mask. Weird. Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I do appreciate it. I'm a brand new channel, and every subscription means the world to me. And if you guys have made it this long into the video, then kudos to you, because it's hard to get people to watch a video for more than a minute or so. So I hope that it was interesting. I hope that my commentary was helpful. If it's not, tell me down in the comments below. I'm not afraid to take criticism, and I will work to be better at this. I mean, I've only produced a few videos, and I'm going to continue to do it. So, hey, thank you again for staying so long, and I hope to see you at the next video. I really do appreciate those subscriptions, because everyone means an infinitely large amount to me compared to probably just about any other YouTube channel out there right now. So thank you guys again for staying, and until next time, I will see you again. As always, be nice, and God bless.